Hey guys, welcome to the Athfix. This is the last video of the jQuery course. In this course, I am going to discuss about the AJAX method. Well, what is AJAX method? It is asynchronous JavaScript and XML, extensible markup language. Well, we have discussed about HTML, hypertext markup language. Just like the extensible markup language was developed and designed back then 90s, which is specially dedicated for the purpose to handle, structure, store, transmit and display the data. And we can able to even have a look at those data using the normal Excel files. In fact, Notepad, we don't need any high-end editor for how to watch how the XML works. It is written in a normal simple editor, therefore it is extensively used back then in 90s, and today also it has a lot of importance. At the same time, asynchronous JavaScript, when I'm discussing about asynchronous JavaScript, well, there are two types of JavaScript, synchronous and asynchronous, which I already discussed in the ES6 playlist. You can have a look at there, and I just discuss in a simple format. Whenever I'm taking about a synchronous are one by one. Means if I'm taking a nav bar, it has a slide down, slide up, and it has fade in method. After unless and until slide up method will not occur, slide down will not be executed, and after the slide up, slide down is executed. After slide down, fade in method is executed, and this is termed as synchronous. And when I'm talking about asynchronous, if you already watched the application programming interface, which we call as API, or user weather API, they are independent of what they have already designed. Means you can able to use anytime, anywhere. In fact, whenever you are not using their site, you can able to use the web APIs. And these web APIs specially designed by the asynchronous JavaScript. These are means independent of what other events are going to happen at the, means these are completely independent, these are working independently, therefore these are specially used in the web APIs. And this is the use of asynchronous JavaScript. And to handle asynchronous JavaScript and XML, what we call as AJAX, we use this jQuery. And many of the companies like YouTube and Google Maps and the Gmail and the Facebook are using in the today's running what we call as AJAX. Well, YouTube use it in YouTube embeds, the embeds which we use in our what we call as projects. We use extensively the YouTube embeds and Google Maps. If you have ever used the map API, Google Map API, you can able to watch like we have the Zomato, Uber, and many of the sites like means the transportation providing sites, they have used this web API. Means they take Google will launch their satellites, and they have every map of the world, and they have designed such an interface, and these Zomatos are taking the interface of the Google Maps, and they are using along with the traffic. Means they can able to watch what the drivers or the food delivery guys are doing, where they are, when they reach. They can able to design that using the Google Maps. This is why the APIs are very useful. And in the Gmail, you can able to do a lot of things. Under the Facebook, we can use that, and Twitter also uses the AJAX, in which you can able to use the Twitter APIs. And this is why the AJAX has a very important role in the software industry. And next, what is the difference, means what is between jQuery and AJAX? Well, jQuery has AJAX method, AJAX, in which we can able to get, load and post the data, and we have the no conflicts. We can able to manage those all things, which are an important part of the web API. Well, with the jQuery AJAX method, you can request the text, HTML, XML or JSON from the remote server using both HTTP get and HTTP post, and load on the selected HTML. Means I take example. You have, means someone have uploaded the YouTube video, and you want that description, means description I say, you need captions about what they have talked about. And if you want that in your site, you go with the Ajax method, because you are directly or indirectly using the API of the YouTube, in which you just use a package, and under the package you are going to select specific video using the selector in the jQuery, and you are using the get method, and under the get method you are going to select that specific video, and you are going to get the captions, and you are loading it on your site. And this is what we call as http get. And using the http get you got it, and you have successfully loaded on the HTML and load on selected HTML. And this is how we go with get and post and select, means load on the HTML. And next we are going to discuss about the load method. And under the load method we are going to select a specific site under the URL, what we call as URL, and we are going to get the data, and this data is loaded. And this is as simple, and I am going to discuss this thing in the VS Code. And it is very easy. You have to just mention that what we call as the URL, and it will load the data of the URL, and it will display if it is successful, as it will throw an error. And we have discussed this thing in the promises in the year 6. Now I am going to discuss about the load method. The load method in the jQuery, what it is going to do. Well, in the load method we can able to load another HTML file into our main website. For example, here I have already index.html. Well, I have created an HTML and hosted in the GitHub, and I took the link of that, and I am going to load that link under this HTML page under this p id equal to test, and it is going to load that website into that test. For example, here I just undo it and I just save it, the code which I already written. Here I am selecting that p using hash test, and under this load I am going to load the whole website. Well, I just save it, and as you can have a look at here, I just reload the whole site. We don't have anything here. When I just click it, under this click means it is a button, we have this code. And what it is going to do, it is going to select this hash test, and it is going to load this website or this HTML code into it. Well, for example, here I will show you. I just control V, paste it here, load. Well, wait a minute, Windows V, and here we have this thing, and I just reload the site. I don't, here comes, as you can have a look at here, we have an attribute page which I created, and I'm going to load these all things here whenever I click this. Well, as you can have a look at here, we have everything, and this is why the load pages means the load method is used. We can able to load another HTML into here, and not only HTML, we can load any of the website, means any of the files. And next I am going to discuss about the get. Under the get we can able to add the thing into here. I just reload the whole site and I just click it. Wait a minute. And next we have the get method. Under the get method we can able to get the total data present in a site, and here is a code how it goes on. First of all, we have the button. Whenever the user clicks the specific button, dollar is going to select a specific site called weather.com, or whatever URL you mention, it is going to select that. Here I have mentioned the weather.com. Here we have function, and under which we have the data and the status. Status will show us whether it is success or failure, and the data is going to give us what we call as means weather report. It is going to give us the weather report in the data format, and it is going to show us the weather if it is successful it is not going to show any weather report, or it is going to show an error if it is a failure. And this is all about the jQuery AJAX method. And we have the post and no conflict method. For that we need to go for the backend, and I am going to discuss those things completely in PHP, and this is all about it. Well, now I am going to discuss about the get method. For that we have to have a selector. Well, dollar is the selector, then we have the get. Under the get we will mention the file. Well, this is the file, and I'm going to write another function, because the code of get is like we have the data, or we have the URL, next we have a function, means you have the data, and at last we have the alert function. For example, this is a URL, and under the function we used to have that data, and here I add two parameter, data comma status. Well, using the status we can able to get whether it is a success or a failed, and here we have the data and the status, and I'm going to select that hash test, and under which I'm going to add the HTML and data, data here, and next I'm going to alert the status, and as you can have a look at here, I just save the code, and here comes, I just reload the site and I will click it, and it is showing success, means it is going to show us the whole site in it. Well, these are the whole site which are present in it, and this is how we go with the get method, and this is all about it. Thank you. Well, do subscribe our channel for regular updates. Thank you.